Hello everyone, here is Manuel, and here is an update about our project Bodynodes. In particular, our tool that we have made for Blender. So, without going on how was the UI before, I want to go through some changes that we have done to make it more easier to use for everyone. So when we work on the previous UI, we just wanted to make the Bodynodes work on Blender. That's it. We want to get data and use it on the to animate characters. So obviously that was a challenge. It took a long time to make the UI that I already presented in the previous video. It took a while to make it work. But we notice a problem is that not everyone would have been able to use all of the features. So why having a script or having a UI that has so many of them? So we actually went and we decided to change things a little bit, and we said, okay, let's just divide the script in two parts. One part will deal with the Bodynodes data, will be in charge to collecting it and use it. And this is the part, full suite recording, and the other part will manage this data or will be an UI that will help the user manage this recorded data, animation. Why have we done so? Is that with this division, it makes it easier for an animator understanding which part it can work on. So obviously, if you don't have Bodynodes sensors, you don't need all the recording features. You just need the animation features. But that sets another problem. Well, how can I get data then? And well, you will see that the animation, there is, we have done a feature where it is possible to save and pass data around, so save and loading data, which make it possible for me or for anyone that has Bodynodes sensors to pass the data to an animator and then let the animator work as he wants with that. So without further ado, let's take a look on what these these two components have. Let's start from recording. So we have our 5-part recording and we execute only this one. The other one, as you can see, it's commented. So let's run it. I just pressed Alt P to run this snippet. So you'll see on the right side the Bodynodes Recording tab appearing. We have made some changes. So first of all, you have to select a configuration. Don't worry about it that much. I will go in another video about that. Doesn't really matter. And we already have a player, but as you'll see, you have to select the proper player before start using the UI. And in the recording tab, we have the server feature. We can start and stop the server. That, as a reminder, is the part that it's where all the Bodynodes will send data to. So you need to start it, otherwise, Blender cannot get this data. Then there is the tracking feature. It's still there. It obviously relates to the Bodynodes sensors because it attach and detach the bones from the data that is coming. So disable, they are detached, they won't move with your body. If you enable the tracking, the character will move with you. It's very useful when you want to check a recording after you have done it. Here we have some the features about the armature, which basically let us load a position, or actually let's start from save a position, maybe initially, do whatever we want with our character, and then maybe we are in a weird position that we don't like anymore, we can load it back. If we instead press reset, the body part, the armature will go to the initial position, which is very useful if even your safe position, a position you're starting with, it's something that you don't want to. Here an example. It's a little bit weird, don't worry about it. It went to a predefined position. There you go. Here we have something related to the bones configuration, which is exactly this one. So here you can load which body bones configuration you want. Here you can change it and save it. So you select the body part, you select the name of the bone. So body part will refer to the your body sensor node, body part. So this is sensor part. Bone name, it refers to Blender, and then they will be associated with this axis. And once you have done your changes here, you can save it. It's not automatically saved because you might get some errors. You can save it and it will stay there. When you save it, you can select which name you want to save it. Please have a JSON. And yeah, should be an Animator configured here. Finally, we have, and this is the most important part, the recording part. We can, as you remember, have 3 different takes that we can move on. You can take the take and then you can clear all the data if you don't like it anymore, if you're changing player. So this button is currently not enabled because we haven't started the server. So you cannot take recordings if you don't have data coming in. And there it is. This is the recording, the Bodynodes Recording UI features that, as you can see, they all refer to the Bodynodes sensors, the real Bodynode sensor that you're supposed to put on yourself. Even the bones configuration, it refers to that because it tells the basically Blender how to collect the data. So let's close this one and let's have a look to the other part. There you go, and there you go. So we commented the recording running script, and here we decommented the animation part of the script, the animation module. So let's run it. I'm pressing Alt P. Actually, let me press run script, which, as you can see, has a shortcut Alt P. And there you go. You will see on the right side the Bodynodes Animation tab appearing. As you can see also here, the bones configuration will be asked. So don't mind, it's actually important. Don't mind it too much. You have to select the player exactly as the other one. So this will be the UI that an animator probably want to deal with. So the first thing that you want to do as an animator is, if you don't have Bodynodes, you will need data to work on. You want to have an animation to work on. So there you go, data. We can load the data. Here we have no data, but you can load it. And when you are happy, you can save it. Maybe to give it to another animator. As you can imagine, this will be the button that a recorder will probably use a lot, the save animation in a JSON file. So I have Bodynodes, I take in recordings, and then I want to give it to my animator. What button should I use in save animation? Which thinking about it, I might decide to put it in the recording tab, but remember, this is around. And it can be very useful also for the animator, so probably I will have a copy for a new save animation button in the recording. Yeah, probably that's what I will do. So this is the baking button. What does this do? This is very important because it let us use basically all the other features. In fact, the order of the buttons is how you would use them normally. You get the data and then you have to do some computation in it, and then you can finally edit it. Why is that important? Is that because all these parts, all these functionalities relate to the bones. We'll work on the bones. While the recording part and up to here, the save animation and load animation, all of this, it relates to another, not to the bones, but to another structure that I created. Let me show you to you. And there it is. So all these Bodynodes objects, which you'll see here, which are hidden below, and they're hidden because they're not of any use except of existing somewhere. This will be the object totally used by recording and used up to the animation, saving and loading animation. But then we want to work with bones. Without going into the direct reasons, that's what it is. It's much easier to do to divide the work in this way. So there is this bake button which basically transforms the data in these elements, in the Bodynodes object, into data for the bones. And that's it. And I call it bake because there is a similar function around in Blender that is basically bake. It's called bake, so I said, okay, let's keep it so that even a Blender professional will understand what this button does, more or less. And there you go. Once we have data on our bones, we can work on it. I think we went already through some of the functionalities. So let me check. Let me create. This is the editor part. We go in the virtual world. Actually, it's probably not gonna work because the configuration is... Oh no, it's working, it's working. So editor part, I have a representation of time in 3 dimensions. I can hide, so I can see the animation happening. And there you go. I can save it and I can destroy it. Let's destroy it for now. We have the walking feature, which basically let us create walking animations or character moving in the XY plane. Depending on how he moves his feet, we have auto walk or ref walk if you want to do something special. And then we have the changes, start and changes. Start and the changes is very useful when you have all the data, you know, looking at what direction, but you actually want to, you know, turn it around for 90 degrees. So you want to apply the same changes to all the bones. You won't want and all the bones end for 90 frames. That takes a long time. So you want to apply the changes all together in all you want to apply the same changes all together to all the time frame that you selected. And there it is. You can close it. So I hope you know, I hope I made my message across. And what is this all about? What are these changes about? And it's basically recognizing that there are people that will never use the Bodynodes. They're not any intentional. They're not interested in that. But they definitely want to work on real animation data and change it as they see fit. And instead we have others which will, you know, work on make these changes and so there are other people which instead will want will have these body nodes, will have all this data, but they have no intention to to create animation per se. Imagine that you are a dancer or you are a martial art teacher, and you would like to have, or someone is coming to you and ask, can you do these moves for me so that I can copy, I can record it, and I can do the animations. Well, you can actually record your own animation, then give them away somehow, just by moving yourself and our body nodes. So that's what I wanted to show to you. I hope you enjoyed this small presentation about our new UI. I wanted to do it now because it's very important. These changes might not be in our code right now, but they will be shortly. And thanks for listening to me. Bye.